and welcome to the first episode of USR1 Retro coming from the US, specifically the Lone Star State of Texas. I was going to try and do a couple of videos over the last couple of weeks, but because I've just been relaxing and enjoying myself too much, I completely forgot. So I'm going to start off with the first one of doing the Laserdisc collection that me and my wife have built up. I know some people say, "Oh, why are you collecting Laserdiscs for? You know, they're just rubbish. You've got to turn them over." And that's what double-sided players are for. Both sides play. The laser automatically goes to the top. All it does is just interrupt the film for about 10 seconds. That's what those players are for. And it's aching to watching the films on ITV back in the day, or even Channel 4. You know, with the adverts put in between them, so there's no real difference to that. And I know people will say, "Oh, but you got Blu-ray." Well, so what? These are actually pretty damn cool. And we never had Laserdisc players either in the UK or the US, so this is a first for us, and it's something that we wanted to do together, along with obviously like the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis collecting. So we have got quite a sizable collection. That's what she said, and I am going to show you many of them. However, I can't flip the camera around because it just take a photo. So let's have a look and see what delights we have. So, okay, so you'll have to excuse me. It's getting there somewhere. There we go, that'll do. So, starting off here. There we go. So we've got both the Alien films. We have got the other two, but they're elsewhere. Got a load of films right here. Obviously, you've got Independence Day, Director's Cut of Blade Runner, Delta Force, canon classic. And then moving along, you've got 1941, you've got E.T. And this is the version, apparently, that has the deleted scene with Harrison Ford in it. So that'd be quite interesting to watch. Got Towering Inferno. You've got all three of the Star Wars films right there, which is awesome. And then obviously going along here, you've got one of the Bond films. You've got the Abyss Special Edition. You've got the start of the Star Trek movies, which we have got every single one, which is absolutely amazing. And then going along here, you've obviously got Missing Action, another canon classic. You've got the original Time Machine from 1960. And then you've got classics like Deep Impact, Dante's Peak, and also Predator. Now, going on to the bottom, obviously you've got Bridge Too Far, which is right there. That's just one of them. And then moving along, you've got obviously Superman the movie. No collection should be complete without it. Broken Arrow, cheesy fun with John Travolta and Christian Slater. And then moving along even more, we have, what's that one? I can't remember what that one is. What is that one? Oh, it's Hook. Classic Hook. Then you've got obviously the Indiana Jones trilogy, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, got Total Recall, and then moving along to this one, the first box of the Golden Age of Looney Tunes, of which there's 5 of them. I don't know if you can see that, there's 5 of them, of which we have 3. And then obviously you've got the box set of Alien, which has got like deleted scenes and stuff. And then you've got Outbreak, Tomorrow Never Dies, and Maverick. And of course, out of the Bond films, the very last one, which is Die Another... No, it wasn't. It was The World Is Not Enough was the last one to be released on Laserdisc, and it is a bastard to get hold of. Going for over 500 quid. Now, that's just those ones down there. We have more in boxes. Have a look at this. Okay, so here we've got 2 that are... Well, 3 that are dodgy. Unfortunately, one of them was 10 to Midnight, which is sad because that's a good film. You got the Terminator 2 Special Edition box set. That's a beautiful box set, that. Tremors with Kevin Bacon, and then just randomly Cannibal Run 2, absolute classic film. First Blood, Stallone. Top Gun, which we've got about 3 copies of for some reason. And then obviously Hellbound with Chuck Norris, and it's still sealed. It's Still sealed. So these are sealed Laserdiscs are still available in the wild. We've got 2 that we got today, and they are the DTS versions. Apparently the DTS ones, they seem to go for a tad bit more. Don't know why. So, moving on to this one. This is exactly what I mean with the Golden Age of Looney Tunes. We've got Volume 2, and we've also got Volume 3. Now, Volume 4 and 5 are quite hard to get hold of, and they go for silly money. So, and then we've got Sword in the Stone, Good, the Bad and the Ugly, Frighteners, Norma Ray, which I've not really seen, and apparently it's, I don't know what the hell it's all about, but it was free. So Emerald Forest, not seen it. American Tail, Fiver Goes West. And then moving back a little bit, we've got another Bond classic with For Your Thighs Only. Moving back a bit more, we've got The Deadpool, and then Trespass, which is again a classic. Okay, so moving along then to the third box. Ignore that box, so that's all doubles. We've got Starman. Absolutely fantastic John Carpenter film, and shows that he was more than horror and action. Beautiful movie, really beautiful movie. Full Metal Jacket. Brilliant film again. Moving on a little bit further, we have another John Carpenter film, and it's Dark Star. I've only ever seen about half hour of it, but it's pretty good what I've seen of it so far. Classic John Wayne Western, The Searchers, with Jeffrey Hunter and Natalie Wood as well. Now, one of my favourites, but it's not currently in my top 10 ones. It kind of changes every week. The original Battlestar Galactica. The original, I think it was a three-part pilot episode turned into a 2-hour movie, I think it was, or a 2-part episode, I can't remember. It's been ages since I've seen the original 2-part episode, so or 3-part episode, whatever. Now, Roller Coaster. Never seen this film, but apparently it's a disaster thriller come hijacking film. Apparently it's meant to be pretty good, so I can't wait to see that. Schwarzenegger classic Red Heat with James Belushi, and well, that's a pretty awesome film in all itself. Another copy of Looney Tunes Volume 2, which we need to get rid of. Oh man. What else? What ones we got in here? Some Van Damage, The Quest. Directed by him, and actually has Roger Moore in it as well. Apparently it's pretty good. Now, another Van Damme film. Sudden Death. Absolute brilliant film. Love it. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have. Flash Gordon. Hey! You can't beat a bit of Flash. And it was only $4.99, obviously before taxes, but still cheap. Now, The Rocketeer. I haven't seen this, but the wife said it's absolutely brilliant, and we have 2 copies. So one of them will be up for sale. And then, of course, we have Perfect Weapon. Absolutely fantastic martial arts film, and also The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is actually a pretty good Disney film. Now, moving on to the first of the lot that we started to characterise in alphabetical order. Starting from L to Z, we have Lawnmower Man, but this is the unrated director's cut, which was also released on VHS, and it's a pretty good version, I must admit. Leap of Faith with Steve Martin and Deborah Winger. I've not seen this, but I've really got quite into Steve Martin's films. He is very, very funny, very good actor as well. And then what I've seen recently was Little Shop of Horrors, and it is, again, it's a really, really good film. First time watching last week, I think it was. Now, it's going on a little bit further. We have Val Kilmer's Real Genius, and again, first time watch. I think it was when I was over in July, I think it was, and I adored it. It was a really funny film, really, really good. Of course, again, you've got Robin Hood, Disney Robin Hood, which is, again, a classic. Going further in, we've got Balls of Space, Spaceballs. There's nothing more to be said about that, really, apart from it's just Spaceballs, the Laserdisc. Summer School, which we watched recently, first time for me, God knows how many times for the for Jen, but really good film, really funny. And of course, the first ever copy of the thing that I got, full screen, and it's also got Superstition by Stevie Wonder replaced by a song by the Four Tops, so which makes it a different version, so it's worth having. Now, moving a little further on, we've got What About Bob, and also guest starring Myla. I haven't seen it. Yes, I know Myla. Yes, it's a Laserdisc. I've not seen this, but Jen assures me that it's a really funny film, so we'll probably be watching that soon. And then going on to the final one. Sorry, Myla, I need to shift you over, love. Sorry, thank you. Now, we have Apollo 13. I think this film should be in every collection going. It's a phenomenal movie. And then you've got the Popcorn Fest, which is Armageddon. Well, don't really need to say more than that. It's just cheese, and it's cheese of the highest quality. Then you've also got Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. Now, for some reason, now we have only number 3 in widescreen. But to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, I just love the films anyway. So, and then you got Basic Instinct. Now, apparently, this is a director's cut, which should be quite interesting for a first time watch through. And then the classic sci-fi take on the Magnificent Seven with John Boy. Who else has got in it? John Saxon, Robert Vaughn, and George Papard. And not once does he say, "I love it when a plan comes together," which I was actually pretty disappointed in. How dare you? Right, moving on. We have, let's have a look. We have Robert Wise's classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Not really much more needs to be said about that. And then we've also got Dazed and Confused, which again was the first time watch for me. It's a few days ago, wasn't it, honey?
What?
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a few days ago that I watched this for the first time, and it was all right. And if you didn't like it, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Now, the sci-fi classic I think everyone should watch at least once. Enemy Mine. And I still want to see the footage that Richard Loncrane shot before he got fired and Wolfgang Petersen took over and made this version. Little fact, Wolfgang Petersen actually moved the filming location from Bucharest, I think it was Hungary as well, and he moved it to the Bavaria Studios in Germany, I think, where he made Neverending Story the year before. And apparently Louis Gossett Jr.'s original makeup was supposed to have been so crap that it was unusable. All the footage that Richard Loncrane had filmed was completely unusable, so he literally just started fresh. But I would love to see that footage if it still existed. So Disney, if you're listening, I want to see the footage. But no, it's a classic film that everyone needs in their collection, and at least one, guys. Now, another slice of Kurt Russell. This... with David Suchet, John Leguizamo, Joe Morton, Oliver Platt, and Steven Seagal's in it for all of about 4.5 minutes. So everyone's a winner, and it's a good film to boot. Let's see what else. Oh, here we go. The Full Monty. The Full Monty. Everyone has to like the Full Monty. It's just a funny film. Funny film. Absolutely love it. So I was glad when Jen actually said, "Oh yeah, we've got a copy coming." So I was absolutely love that. So then we move on to 2 classics, the original Ghostbusters, and then many people don't like it. I really like it. Ghostbusters 2. Absolutely love the film, and I want to see all the deleted scenes for this, especially the one where, after they first go to the museum, Ray's got that one thing over the painting of Vigo. he kind of gets, I suppose, kind of possessed by Vigo. And there was supposed to have been a scene where, as they're packing all the stuff in the car, Vigo possesses him, and as he's driving the car, he tries to kill them all. But I think the rest of the Ghostbusters managed to wrestle control from him and basically save the day. There are parts of that still in the montage of them going to the different places, but it's not all in there, which is a shame. Another Bond film, GoldenEye, the first of 3 copies and the best condition copy. Pierce Brosnan's best outing as Bond. Really? What else can be said? And then, of course, you've got the classic Gremlins. Christmas film. Don't care what anyone says. Christmas film. Set at Christmas. Has a Christmas tree. Has Silent Night. Done by Jerry Goldsmith's orchestra. It's a Christmas film. So, what else? What else do we have here? Heart and Souls. Robert Downey Jr., Elizabeth Shue, Tom Sizemore, Kira Sedgwick, Morgan... Is it? Alfred Woodard. Sorry, Alfred Woodard and the late James Grodin. Very sadly missed. Very good film. Very, very good film. You get a chance to watch it if it's on telly anytime. Bung it on. Great film. Great film. And it's just so hard to pick ones to showcase, because we have so many brilliant, just all-time classics. And this one, Krull. What else can I say? Really, it's just Krull, you know. Now we're going to go into the office because we still have two holes filled with more Laserdiscs. So, quick cut. And here we are. Magically, through the world of video technology, I am now in the office. And through the magic of technology, you're now looking at more Laserdiscs. So, again, we have loads of classics here. We've got the Presidio. What's that one? Oh, Space Hunter. Space Hunter with Peter Coyote and... that's the one. Molly Ringwald. Thank you. And we also have, as well, the Dark Crystal. The Hunt for Red October. Time Cop, Blown Away, Unforgiven, The Right Stuff. Absolutely brilliant film. Predator 2, we've also got the complete Lethal Weapon series. The Game, which I've never seen. We've got Heat. We've got Out for Justice, Steven Seagal. X-Files, the movie. Also, Logan's Run. 2 Laserdiscs, 3 sides. Letterbox edition in a rather swanky looking sleeve. And now moving on to the last side. Watch out for the fan, I don't want to end up breaking that. We have Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Goes for quite a lot of money on Laserdisc. For some strange reason. The Reluctant Werewolf goes for just about the same amount. It was a freebie, so I'm not complaining. We've got Manhunter with William... what's his face? William Peterson. Thank you. Thank you, mystical voice in the background. Oh, bloody hell. Right. We also have another canon classic, Invasion USA. We've got Poltergeist 3, 2, and 1. Another 48 hours plus 48 hours. Ghost, Contact, Some Like It Hot, Beverly Hills Cop, and Beverly Hills Cop 3. We've got Backdraft and Not From a Night on the Curry. We've also got Assault on Precinct 13, another Carpenter classic. The Shadow, another copy of Sudden Death. We like it so much we wanted 2. Another copy of Broken Arrow. Hard Target. Under Siege 2. Again, Poltergeist. The Road Warrior. The Naked Gun 2.5. The Smell of Fear. The Client. Wayne's World 1 and 2. And Army of Darkness. Now, for some strange reason, 1 and 2 of the Evil Dead films are quite hard to come by. Going from 50 quid upwards, change that into dollars, that's a lot. And also, just a sneak preview, we've also got Woodstock, the Christmas ornament. There we go. But yeah, that is most of the, well, near enough all the Laserdiscs we've got. We did get some more today, but we haven't sorted them out yet. So anyway, here comes another quick cut to go back into the living room. And there we are, another quick cut. So anyway, I'm going to list my top 10 favourite films on Laserdisc. Now, it's hard to pick 10. It's like asking someone what your favourite limb is. You know, you can't pick. You love them all. But I mean, it's like with every film list, it changes from one week to the next. So it's like one week it could be Spaceballs is your favourite film. The next week it could be Star Trek 6. The week after that it could be something else. You know, everyone's taste is different and it changes from week to week. Mine certainly does. You know, I mean, Die Hard 1, 2 and 3 are near enough all in my top 10 every single time. But there are times when they drop down into a top 20. It's hard. You can't pick a definitive top 10. Well, I can't. If you can, let me know in the comments below. So anyway, we're going to start off with a Christmas classic. And yes, you will crack up. I mean, if you haven't seen Christmas Vacation, where have you been? Where have you been? If it's on ITV or wherever you are in the world, if it's on a TV station or you've got it on Blu-ray or you've got it on DVD and you've never watched it, bung it on and you will have a fucking good time. You know? The best one out of all the Vacation movies, it has to be said. I do like Vacation and European Vacation, but this... Oh, also like Vegas Vacation as well. Not a bad film, not a good film, but, you know, it does have some laughs. But this is tip-top. It really is. Where can I put these? Oh, sorry, I'll stick them down there. Right, the next one. It was a first-time watch when I was over in July. And again, it made me appreciate Steve Martin more. His comic timing and his comic chops are just second to none. And it's All of Me with Lily Tomlin. And it is a very, very good film. I can't remember how he... Well, it's basically she wants to live forever. She's on her way out. She wants to live forever. He's like the lawyer in charge of her estate or something or other. And through a magic something or other, her soul ends up on his right side. And it's absolutely hilarious. It really is. Seeing him all of a sudden talk like a woman, it's brilliant. It really is. It's just one of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life. And if you get a chance to watch it, if it's on Sky or HBO or wherever you're streaming, have a watch of it. It is really, really good. Now, the last Star Trek film to be released on Laserdisc, the standard US version is hard to get hold of. However, I was able to pick this up on eBay, get it shipped to the US from Hong Kong. No, it wasn't Hong Kong, it was South Korea. South Korea. And it was about $30 in total, about $35 in total, and which is quite reasonable. Very, very reasonable, I must admit, because the US release, I don't know how much it goes for. It could go for as much as what The Mummy goes for, which was released as like a limited edition of 3,000 units, and it goes for over 250 quid. Another film I want on Laserdisc, but I'm not paying that much. They can take that Laserdisc and they can shove it up their bottoms. Sideways, I might add. Along with a pineapple. But this... I love Insurrection. I really, really do. Some people don't like it, but I think it's really enjoyable. Really, really enjoyable film. And it's got some of Jerry Goldsmith's best music in it as well. There's just something about it. I just love it. I mean, yeah. Next week it might be First Contact. The week after that it might be The Wrath of Khan. I mean, I love all the Star Trek films equally, but I think this First Contact. Wrath of Khan and Motion Picture are my favourites, with Motion Picture coming out at the very top. I love a cerebral film, so. But this is just a good adventure, really good adventure film. And plus, the best thing is, with it being in Japanese, track one, which is digital, is in English. Track 2, which is analog, is in Japanese. There's no subtitles. So it's English friendly. Not bad. Now the next one it is a classic with Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Stephen Dorff, I think it is. It's Stephen Dorff. Yes, it is Stephen Dorff. And Denis Leary. And it is Judgement Night. Brilliant film. Pretty much one long chase movie through the more downtrodden Chicago suburbs. And it's just a fantastic film. It really, really is. It's also got Jeremy Piven in it as well. And they're trying to go on their way to a boxing match in somewhere in Chicago, and they end up taking a wrong turn, and they see a known gangster drug dealer, whatever it is, Denis Leary. He kills this guy. They witness it, and then basically he chases after him for the rest of the movie. Gets his cronies to chase after him as well. It's a fantastic film. Really is a good film. I think it's probably one of the best films that Universal have ever made. You know, I mean, it's got a brilliant cast, especially with him as the bad guy. Really good film. Now the next one. I love a good bit of big stompy robot action. Always have done. So of course this was a no-brainer. Robot Jones. With stop motion robot animation by Dave Allen? Is it Dave Allen? Yeah, David Allen Productions done the stop motion animation, and I must admit, it's to me, I love stop motion animation. You know, I mean, I like CGI to a point. If it helps to complement the practical effects, you know, and they don't overtake it in some way by saying, oh, CGI is better. You know, it's only going to be like a little bit of practical effects. You know, but. I mean, stop motion animation in this is actually pretty good. It actually, for me, even though it's a little bit on the jerky side, it works in the robot's favour. It's the same with Robocop and Robocop 2 with the ED209 and with Robocop 2/Kane. To me, it makes them look a bit more menacing. It really does. And for this, it works for this as well. That's why I love stop motion animation. Brilliant. And this is a really good film. It's only 85 minutes? 84 minutes. It's not bad. Short film, but does what it says on the tin, and it does it all inside of 84 minutes. So if you can find, even if you find a copy on DVD or Blu-ray, that's my luck. Yeah, if you see a copy cheap on DVD or Blu-ray, or even if you can find a cheap VHS, if you've got a VHS player, or even if you've got it on streaming, then pick it up and give it a watch. It's a brilliant film. Now, I have to have one animated set in this, and if you don't like these two, then there's something seriously wrong, and it's The Art of Tom and Jerry. Now this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs, 5 laser discs, so it's 10 hours. 10 hours of Tom and Jerry cartoons from the very beginning, which is Puss Gets the Boot, right up to Just Duck It, and I think that's when it was sourced out to Czechoslovakia, and Gene Deitch, his team started to do the Tom and Jerry cartoons. They'd never seen a Tom and Jerry cartoon before, so I think they had to guess or something, and it was just so surreal. You know, there was out of this world sound effects. The animation wasn't as good. I think the only thing that was good was the title music, which was literally, I think it was just stock title music for Tom and Jerry from the original cartoons. But yeah, the Gene Deitch ones, or Deitch, sorry, however you pronounce his name, they're not that good. I can't stand them, and I'm glad they're not on this set. But this is a fantastic set. Literally 77 awesome Tom and Jerry cartoons. Brilliant. Now, Well, I've just showed you the title, so fuck it, I might as well just, you know. Who doesn't love Roger Rabbit? Who doesn't love him? You know. And Bob Hoskins as the role of Eddie. What's his name? Eddie. His name in it is Eddie something or other. But, I mean, you've got Joanna Cassidy as his long-suffering fiancée, girlfriend. Then you've got Christopher Lloyd as, what's his face? I can't remember his name in it. Doc something or other. I don't know. Whatever his name is. Doom. Dr. Doom or whatever his name is. I haven't seen it for ages, but yeah. This is one we had to have on Laserdisc. And the thing is, even though it's 2 discs and both sides are 40, it doesn't really matter because it's just a classic film all round. And it's in what we like to call, the term that we've nicked off of someone else on the Laserdisc page on Facebook. Elephant condoms. They're not very good. They're not very good for them. So we've been buying the LP inner sleeves and replacing them because they're horrible. They really, really are horrible. We got a copy of Hello Dolly over there, and she went and Jen went to take it out of the sleeve, and the inner elephant condom just disintegrated, and the disc was pretty disgusting anyway. It was rotted beyond belief. So that's why I hate those ones. Anyway, on to the top 3. And I'm going to switch number 1 and number 2 around because this one does have to be number 1. That's what 2. So anyway, I think it's the only war film in this top 10, which is a shame really because I love A Bridge Too Far. Actually, I think I've only got a couple of war films on Laserdisc. I can't remember, but anyway, I think this was the very first war film I watched, with Great Escape following up, and then A Bridge Too Far a few years later. I think it was on Channel 5, and I think all I did was just cut a little bit of the blood. But I think it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was a fantastic film. But this is my first taste of war movies. You know, Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson, Donald Sutherland, Clint Walker. Legend that is Clint Walker from Cheyenne TV series, Western TV series of the 60s. Telly Savalas, Jim Brown, I think it's John Cassavetes as well. I'm trying to think who else is in this. Trini Lopez, I think. Anyway, it is the rather excellent Dirty Dozen. Of course, Enzo Castellari, I think it was, a few years later, done his own version. It was called Inglourious Bastards. But I think they were on their way to prison or something anyway, and they managed to break off the truck, and they get told to go on a mission or something rather. And I haven't seen it all the way through, but what I saw was a good film. But it's literally, I think it was like a partial rip-off of this, and this is just possibly one of the greatest war films ever made. Who else is in it? Ernest Borgnine, Richard Jekyll, forgot about him, George Kennedy, Robert Ryan, forgot about Robert Ryan. He was a fantastic actor, he really was. And I think he also served in World War II as well. Yes, he did. He served in World War II. Hello, Moto. Thank you for joining me. So, yeah, and Robert Webber as well. Possibly the most greatest war film of all time, alongside Great Escape and A Bridge Too Far. What else was there? Kelly's Heroes, and you can't forget Where Eagles Dare. On literally enough every bloody Christmas or holiday, you know, Broadsword calling Danny Boy, you know, and all that gubbins, and Clint Eastwood, and you know, fantastic film. But this is just one of the best ones. And now, for this one, I do remember watching this think my brother recorded it off of BBC One. And the first time I started to watch it, I didn't like it. I think I was only 87. Would have come on telly in about 89. So I was about 7. And I didn't go a lot on it. And it wasn't until about another 4 years later that I tried watching it again. Same with Total Recall. And it's become one of my favourite films, and possibly one of my favourite Joe Dante films as well. You know, I mean, I know people will say, "Oh, what about The Howling?" I watched it once, and it was alright, but I just found it a little bit boring. Special effects in it, brilliant. I think it was Rick Baker that done the effects for them. But anyway, going on tangent, and it is in a space, practically another version of Fantastic Voyage with a comedy slant. Oh, it was inspired by Fantastic Voyage or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan, Mike Schultz, Andrew McCarthy. One of the staples of Joe Dante's films. Dick Miller is in it as well, as a small role as a cab driver. Again, another Joe Dante staple. Literally in many of his films, even as like big roles or small roles. Who else is in it? Vernon Wells as well. Even has the director of photography John Hoare in a small role as Ozzy, the one of the genius scientists, doctors. And the end song is Rod Stewart's version of Twist in the Night Away, which is a fantastic version, as good as Sam Cooke's version. You can't beat Sam Cooke though, but it is a damn good version, and it is a rather awesome film. I absolutely adore this film, I really do. So we come to the penultimate film. Even though, as I say, my top 10, top 20, top 50, top 100 films always seems to change, I think this is possibly the only one that's constantly at number one. I mean, I know people will say, "Why haven't you got The Thing? If you love The Thing so much, or like Starman or Assault on Precinct 13, why are they in your top 10? Who's to say they're not in my top 20? Who's to say they're not in my top 30, top 40, top 50, top 100? You know, but as I say, my lists change daily, weekly maybe. But this one, I think, is possibly my favourite film of all time. You know, I've come to appreciate it more over the years after having seen 3 versions of it. Theatrical, TV, and the director's cut, called the Director's Edition, if you haven't guessed what film it is. Star Trek the Motion Picture. Now, as I say, people go, "Oh, why'd you pick that film for?" It's called Star Trek the Slow Motion Picture. It's boring. There's nothing really happens to it. There's no action. There's no phases. There's no, there's no battles or anything like that. It's not supposed to. It really isn't. It isn't supposed to be. It isn't supposed to be an all-out action film. It's meant to be a film that makes you think about your existence, about what it means to be human, and if you can better yourself as a human being, and people have said, "Oh, Captain Kirk's not the same, and Spock's not the same." Of course not. Captain Kirk's, according to the films, been behind a desk for 2.5 years. He's going to be a little bit different. He's going to be a little bit more kind of, off with everyone. It's not until about half the way through the film that he becomes the Captain Kirk of old. It's the same with Spock. He was on Vulcan for 2.5 years. He was learning how to purge his human side, with Colonar. And then obviously when he communicates telepathically, or the entity reaches out to him, he thinks, well, hang on a minute, maybe the entity's my Colonar. you know, and Kirk thinks, well, as soon as he comes on board, Kirk thinks, well, hang on, maybe he's only in this for himself. But actually it becomes detriment to the whole thing. You know, he's kind of like the reasoning behind, you know, Kirk, you know, and trying to say to him, well, no, hang on a minute. And then obviously you've got Bones, who's just Bones. You know, I'm sorry about Myla, I'm so sorry. But yeah, as I say, you've got Bones, who's Bones. He comes out with a few wisecracks every once in a while, you know, and he, you know, they help ground Kirk from what he was at the beginning of the movie. They help him to come back to the Kirk that he used to be. You know, I mean, even his detriment to, like, his attitude towards Decker, played by Stephen Collins. His attitude towards Decker halfway through the film changes. Is it halfway through the film? It's either halfway or just over halfway through the film. His whole attitude towards him changes to one of respect. You know, that basically, in the original series, he always asks for people's opinions. At the start of the film, he thinks, I'm right. Because I'm Admiral, I'm right. As soon as Spock, McCoy come on board, he helps him understand, well, hang on a minute, maybe Decker has got some interesting points. You know, maybe Decker can help out on this one. You know, and he starts to include everyone in it, like the Holy Trinity, as you say, Kirk, Spock and McCoy, and also Decker. You know, so there's a lot of layers to the film, a hell of a lot of layers. And I think that's what many of the critics and many people don't see. They look at it as like, oh, it's boring, it's just going through the cloud. You know, what kind of danger does a cloud represent? It's not the cloud, it's what's inside of it that's the threat. You know, the cloud's just an energy field surrounding what is inside. You know, it's what's inside that's completely dangerous. You know, and people say it's just a remake of The Ultimate Computer. Well, yes, it is, but it takes it that step further. You know, and it's to me, it's a good start to the series. Whereas the rest of the series is all like slam bang action. You know, with like Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, where they go after Spock. Star Trek 4's the comedic one. Star Trek 5 is part comedy, part action, but it's a bit to do with like belief and all that, and going back to the thing that made the original series of Star Trek so good was the comedy element between Spock, Kirk and McCoy, and that's in number 5. And then you've got number 6, which is like an analogy to the Berlin Wall. So you've got all the Star Trek films near enough got a load of action in, and it's geared more towards action, whereas the motion picture, it's geared more towards the cerebral. You know, and if you look beyond the sorry about that. If you look beyond, you know, the thing that's like the showing off the Enterprise gratuitously. You know, it's not just doing it just to say, oh, look what we've done, look what we've accomplished, look at the special effects that we've done. It's nothing to do with that whatsoever. We're supposed to feel what Kirk is feeling when we see the Enterprise, when we take the tour of the Enterprise, and then as soon as we see it from the very front, when the travel pod goes over the Enterprise, so Scotty can show Kirk everything they've changed about the Enterprise. It's for us to see. Right, okay, they've changed that, they've changed that, they've changed that, and then as soon as you see it, you just think, fuck me, that is an awesome ship. You know, it's the most beautiful looking starship in the whole of Starfleet. And also, it's one of the most beautiful models ever made of the Enterprise. You know, and then they paint it in like pearlescent paint so it shows up. So it looks better on camera. And then ILM painted over it so it didn't, but it was still effective in Star Trek 2 after that. But anyway, everything about it for me just works. You know, and if you think, oh, it's a load of shit, if you want to go back and watch a version of this, watch the director's edition. It cuts out most of the long flight over the object at the centre of the energy field. It cuts, not a huge chunk, but it cuts enough out so it keeps it going, you know. And it adds new special effects and does the sound and whatnot to what, more closer to what Robert Wise wanted, you know. But give it another go. You know, as I say, it's a more cerebral Star Trek film, and I think if you go in knowing that, and knowing that it's not meant to be Star Wars, you know, balls to the wall action, you know, it's not meant to be an action film. It's meant to be one of something serious is coming. We have to deal with it. But of course, you've got all these problems that need to be done first before we can go and deal with it, you know. And then it's a methodical look at trying to deal with an unknown foe, a foe that's never been dealt with like this before, you know. So, but it's just worth another look, I feel, you know. So, but yeah, as I say, that's the widescreen version of that. You've also got the standard full screen version, which is the 4:3 screen format, and also the special longer version, which is the TV version, which I watched earlier today, which is Sunday. You know, and it's exactly as I remember it from watching a Betamax recording off of ITV. Same pan movements and everything, and it was just like watching. It was like reliving my childhood all over again. You know, watching that for the very first time. It was brilliant. I loved it. But yeah, as I say, give it another go. At least not this version. Give the director's edition a go. And if you haven't changed your mind after it, then that's fair enough, you know. But don't look at it as a slog, you know. Look at it as it's got all these different layers, all these different things going on. Kirk's not the same, Spock's not the same, the ship's not the same. Things are going wrong with the ship as they're going to meet the enemy, you know, that kind of thing, you know. Look at it with always like different layers, you know. But anyway, that was a. Fuck me, 47.5 minutes near enough. That was a look at our Laserdisc collection that we have been doing for a few months. There are more Laserdiscs that we have got. In fact, you know what? Wait right there. These are the ones that we've got today. Now, we've got many of these from a place called Half Price Books, and many of them were going from $2. I want my $2 up to 20 quid. Of course, we didn't go for the 20 quid ones, it was too expensive. But you got Chances Are, never seen it. Nuns on the Run. This was just a fluke find. I wasn't even looking for it. I'm glad I've got it. It's a funny as fuck film if you've never seen it. Home for the Holidays. This is one that Jen wanted, and it was $2. So, and she wanted it, and it's meant to be really good. So, you know, another one for Jen, and that was French Kiss with Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan. Never seen it, but you say it's funny, so you know. Now this one's sealed, and it's a DTS one. Apparently the DTS ones, some of them go for quite a lot of money, but this was $6. And it is an awesomely funny film, and it's sealed, completely sealed, so never been opened, so we get to open up and go, oh, I love the smell of freshly sealed laser discs in the evening. They smell like movies. But yeah, and it's widescreen as well. So, you know, I think found that, and yeah, so, and Ghost in the Darkness with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer. So I've never seen this, so this is going to be like a first time watch for me with music again by Jerry Goldsmith. That's another thing with Star Trek the Motion Picture. The music throughout the whole thing is epic. It really is. Especially when Kirk first sees the Enterprise. When that kicks in. Beautiful. Beautiful soundtrack. So, and then, the last lot. Again, another DTS one, which is sealed, and that's Mr. Holland's Opus with, get out of that bag, Myla. Stop it. Oh, I'm dropping everything now. It's the Holland's Opus with Richard Dreyfuss. I've never seen it, but Jen has assured me that it's a really good film. So, and it's 3 sides, so 1.5 discs. So not bad. And that was $7.99 sealed. Liar Liar was $5.99 sealed. So, Gorillas in the Mist with Sigourney Weaver. No aliens this time, though. You know, she doesn't go on the hunt for aliens. She's actually trying to look after gorillas. Funnily enough, I think the title gives it away. That was $5. Now this one, watched this for the first time this year, and I thought it was actually a really good film. And this was again sealed, and it's My Cousin Vinny, and it was $10. You know, so good film, good film. The only thing I didn't like about the 20th Century Fox Laserdiscs was that on the back you've got the synopsis, and then you've also got a little bit of writing about the film. I think that should be on a sleeve on the inside, or actually on the sleeve itself. It shouldn't be on the back, because when you go to read it, it's like, oh, I've got all that to read. That's just me. League of Their Own, Tom Hanks, Madonna and Gina Davis. Never seen it. Apparently it's based on a... includes the documentary that inspired the hit movie. I didn't even know there was a documentary. Didn't even know it was based on one, if I'm honest. But apparently it's a deluxe... deluxe widescreen edition. Apparently the documentary's on for half an hour, so it's not bad. And then the very last one we got today is Richard Gere in Red Corner. I know it isn't a film about boxing. It's about China or something or other. Yeah, it's about China, and an American is about to be punished for the ultimate crime, his innocence. So I've never seen this. This has always intrigued me, and again, it's DTS. So. But yeah, it's executive produced by Wolfgang Peterson, who done Enemy Mine. So I can't wait to see that. So anyway, that is the Laserdisc collection in its entirety. I hope, unless there's other ones coming. Obviously, there's a few that I wouldn't mind getting, like Spinal. This is Spinal Tap. Criterion one's got the funny commentary on it, which I absolutely love on the DVD, with Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and who's the other one? Christopher Guest. There's Nigel Tufnell, David Tufnell. It's one of the two anyway. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and the commentary just makes it hilarious. It really does. So I want to try and get that one at some point soon. Anyway, that is it for this first episode of USR1 Retro's excellent Texan Adventures. Hopefully, if they get back to me, I will try and do a video look at free play in Fort Worth. And also, if I can, or if I can get a reply from them as well, the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas. So if they get back to me, then yes, they will be episodes. So I hold out hope. I really, really do. So anyway, that's it for this Laserdisc episode. Join me again soon if you collect Laserdiscs, or I talk about Laserdiscs, or anything Laserdisc related, or whatever. You know, let me know down in the comments, and I will, if I get a chance, I will read through them, and I will be back with more gaming shenanigans soon. So in the meantime, everyone take care, everyone look after yourselves and stay safe, especially with this Omicron variant that's going around. So make sure you're being doubly safe, you know, and I will see you next time. Take care and stay safe.